Begin in Alameda County, where volunteers and workers have officially begun collecting signatures today to recall District Attorney Pamela Price.
Many of today's volunteers lost loved ones to gun violence in Oakland. At the same time, Price supporters held their own event across town. Reporter Da Lin talked to both sides.
Alameda County voters have been coming by to sign the recall petition. Now supporters say Pamela Price policies are aimed at protecting criminals, while recall opponents say this is all politically motivated. Volunteers urging passersby to join their movement in recalling Pamela Price. Florence McCrary is one of those who turned her grief into action.
Just print your name here. We're trying to seek justice for Terrence, and I don't feel under this administration we'll see that.
A stray bullet killed her son, Terrence, in 2016 in downtown Oakland. The 22-year-old artist was attending a birthday party. Police say the young man arrested for his killing is responsible for 3 murders.
He's been charged with 3 murders, sentenced for 1. And now they're trying to act like my son's life just can go by the wayside.
McCrary wants justice and accountability. She doesn't want the DA to cut a plea deal with the suspect.
It makes me angry, and it hurts my heart to the core. Because I don't get Christmas back. I don't get the things you mentioned, Mother's Day. I don't get to hug him.
Come on in!
Many volunteers say they feel re-victimized by Price. They lost brothers, husbands, and sons to gun violence in Alameda County.
We feel for these families, right? We feel for these families, and we feel unfortunately that they're being misled.
In West Oakland, Price supporters held a day of service. They say voters elected Price to reform the justice system.
Leveraging people's pain and suffering in order to score political points and achieve a recall that's politically motivated is deplorable, right? It's disgusting.
James Birch with the Anti-Police Terror Project says it's wrong to blame Price for the rising crime in Oakland when it was already bad before she was elected.
Desperate people commit desperate acts, right? So if we want to prevent violence, what we need to do is get people out of these cycles of desperation by giving them the resources they need.
Price supporters also say the recall is driven by Republicans. There were several Trump supporters who signed the petition, but many say they're Democrats who simply want to feel safe in their own homes.
We need change in Oakland. It's getting worse and worse and worse. I've been living in Oakland. This is the worst I have seen.
And as far as Republicans, the last time I looked, I'd never been one. You're registered in Alameda County?
Yes.
Perfect.
McCrary says the recall isn't right or left. It's about right and wrong.
And if this administration can't hear the voices and the cries from the grave for our children, then we have a problem. And that is why I sit here today.
Recall supporters would like to collect about 90,000 signatures, and they have until March to do so.
Turning now to the conflict between Israel and Hamas. It's been 8 days since Hamas launched its surprise attack. More than 4,000 Israelis and Palestinians have been killed so far, according to authorities from both sides. Now, we just learned President Biden is considering a trip to Israel, but travel plans have not been finalized. The Israeli Defense Forces say they are ramping up its offensive in Gaza as they prepare for what they are calling significant ground invasions. The Israeli military is urging civilians to move to southern Gaza before it intensifies a campaign against Hamas in the north. The only exit from Gaza is the Rafah border crossing in Egypt. It remains closed. UN shelters across Gaza have run out of water, and hospitals could run out of fuel for emergency generators within the next 2 days.
The United States will work with Israel, the United Nations, Egypt, Jordan, and other countries to do all that we can to ensure the protection of civilians and that those civilians have access to the basic necessities of food and water, of shelter, of medicine.
U.S. warships are standing by in the region in case U.S. military support is needed and to serve as a warning to prevent the conflict from expanding.
Hundreds were in the streets of San Jose today, standing with Palestine, protesting the death and destruction happening in Gaza.
Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine!
This was near Stevens Creek in Winchester in San Jose, organized by the Palestinian Youth Movement. Demonstrators say they just want the violence to end.
We are here for peace. We are here to save the kids in Gaza. We are not part of Hamas. We are Palestinian. We are just from Palestine, and we defend Palestine.
Rallygoers are also demanding the U.S. stop giving Israel more than $3 billion in aid every year, almost all of which goes to their military.
The Israeli military says Hamas is holding more than 150 hostages. A family believes their missing family member is being held hostage. 19-year-old Ronnie Ashel is in the Israeli Defense Forces. She was stationed in southern Israel near the Gaza border. I talked to her aunt on the family's effort to find her.
The last time we heard from Ronnie was in a text message she sent to her mom at 9:27 a.m. The attack started at 6:30 a.m. And she texted her mom, "Don't worry, Mom, I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I love you," with 3 hearts. Her mom, Sharon, texted her back saying, "I loved you, baby girl, sweetheart. Be safe." And this is the last time we heard from her. We were running around from the hospitals to people who drove down to the south and walked the bases just to understand what happened to her. We are a very, very active family because we can't sit.
Tair said the family also has been combing through thousands of pictures and videos online to look for any clues to Ronnie's whereabouts. Meanwhile, at least 30 U.S. citizens have been killed. 13 remain unaccounted for. We will continue to follow the latest developments out of the Middle East on air, streaming on the CBS News app and on KPIX.com, where you can find live updates.
Well, for more than a year, a historic church in San Jose has been under threat of demolition, but now it's possible that that designation as a landmark might save the day. John Ramos has the story.
Grace Baptist Church has been at its San Jose location for more than 80 years, and the congregation would make a lot of money if it sold it. But making money isn't the mission there.
If you wish to help us, each person.
Like a lot of churches post-pandemic, the group of worshipers at Grace Baptist Church's service was pretty small, 16 people to be exact. But they're on a mission to help people in the San Jose downtown area, and it's important that they have a place to do it.
Right around the corner where you see people walking, homeless, right there on Santa Clara, a block away. And we're right in the middle of that. And that's exactly where Grace Baptist Church wants to be.
Reverend Kenneth Love was only a guest pastor on this day because the congregation no longer has a pastor. They recently cut ties with their former pastor, George Oliver, after he tried to enter into an agreement with a developer to demolish the church to build housing. It's right across the street from San Jose State, a prime location that would have netted millions of dollars.
But I don't believe the core of the church ever even gave that a thought. Matter of fact, I think they were very surprised and maybe felt a little threatened when that surfaced.
What was threatened was a historical legacy as the center of the civil rights movement in San Jose. Built in 1941, it was once ministered by a famous anti-war crusader, Reverend Shorty Collins. The basement was used as an organizing location for the early United Farm Workers, and Cesar Chavez was said to have spoken there. And more recently, it was a gathering place for the community following the guilty verdict in the killing of George Floyd. Dr. Penny Hogue joined the church in 1961 as a student and says it turned her into a social activist.
Oh, I think it was very important. I think it certainly influenced those of us who were members at the time and how we live our life.
The church now ministers to the homeless and down and out in the area, and that's why they consider the location to be so important.
It's a message, and the people in this community see it as a message. It's a reminder of what else is there. There is a place that's safe.
And it may be about to get even safer because the city is on the verge of granting historical landmark status to the church, which would severely restrict what could be done with the building.
To me, it would be an insurance against a developer coming in. This is very valuable property, and this is the jewel of the developments always. But I feel that the importance of it is to have a piece of San Jose preserved as a community meeting place for this neighborhood.
And I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever and ever.
It may not be forever, but the people who dwell in this house of the Lord intend to be here for a very long time, God willing.
San Jose City Council will decide whether to grant historical landmark status in the next few weeks. And still ahead here at 6, looking back at Loma Prieta more than 3 decades later. Why a local expert says the Bay Area was actually lucky in how things played out.
And later, San Francisco gets the green light to resume some homeless sweeps, the changes the city attorney is promising soon.
And in the First Alert forecast, that's a live view right now from the top of the Salesforce Tower. We've got 90s coming back. For many of us this week, there's going to be a noticeable warm up right through the midsection of this week. I'll show you who's got them coming and why it's not going to last. Another dramatic cool down right after that. Forecast coming right up.